have a lending structure, let's say you have the bank.
So there's like two prongs to the business currently.
Walk through the process of what a sales call even sounds like.
The most valuable client is the one that comes back to you, and the most expensive client is the first time you fund them.
How long do you think it'll take someone to get to, let's say, 100 grand a month and then 100 grand a year? Today, we're sitting down with Thaddius Voss. He is launching a platform that can take you from your mortgage lending business, you're maybe tired of those numbers, to something that will make you a lot of money. So Thad, what are you working on?
So there's like two prongs to the business currently. There's the brokerage shop, and then there's the funding opportunities. So the brokerage shop is when you're matchmaking potential borrowers with the lender. The in-house funding opportunities where we become the lender and we loan the money on balance sheet. The next thing that we're starting to realize is that people just don't know what the industry is all about. So we decided that we were going to release a lot of educational material as people start to become, as this industry starts to become more of like a household understanding, a household name of an industry. People are going to be flooding from the insurance space, from the mortgage space, from the freight brokerage space. And we want to be the ones that can kind of help you get your foot in the door within the industry. So we want to release as much educational material to help you do that. And so we're going to have an entire platform. There's going to become with a community that can share wins about individuals who are funding within the space. It can kind of give you tips and tricks on what's taking place with relationships with funders, news articles, things of that nature. There's also going to be educational material that teaches you how to cold call, how to submit deals. There's going to be an opportunity within the community for if you don't know how to close the deal, but you can obtain good files. We're going to help you take that file across the finish line and pay you out handsomely. And then most importantly, we're going to be able to also give opportunities to syndicate on those deals if they end up going within our in-house platform. So kind of just bringing this opportunity from the industry to everyone's home, to everyone. You can work from your home office to be able to get involved here. And we just want to be able to nurture that opportunity so more people can understand it and get involved.
Yeah. So let's even rewind to the very beginning. When people are doing lending, and in your interest, your case, high interest lending, how do the people lending make money? Where's the money actually made in this process?
Right. So there's a spread built into every deal. There's a buy rate and a sell rate. So if a lender is going to come in and give you a 30% interest rate, there might be a 8-point spread that's built into that. So the lender is requiring a 22% interest rate to go to the house, but then you take that interest rate and you sell it at a 1.30 or a 30%, and then you're going to get 8 points on that spread. So on a $100,000 deal, there's $8,000 in commissions there. If you're running your own ISO shop, if you're running your own brokerage shop, that $8,000 goes straight to you. If you're going to be using our platform and our affiliate, we're going to have a sliding scale where you get paid out of that $8,000. But the whole goal is that you end up building your own brokerage shop. That way you can do this on your own. You're self-sufficient, but we got to walk before we run, right? So we want to teach them everything before they get there.
And there's really two different clients or people that could be doing this. People who understand lending and people who don't understand lending, but maybe can sell well or want to have another business.
Right.
Which one of those do you think has the most potential to grow faster?
Well, I think it depends on how big of a piece of the pie you want, right? If you just want a small piece of the pie and you're a professional like a lawyer or a CPA or, just someone that touches a lot of business owners every single day, you can understand the model through the community, through all the educational materials that we're going to bring out. And you can just send that file to us and we'll handle it for you. You're going to get a smaller piece of the pie, but there's less work that goes into it. The other side of things is going to be someone who's looking for a change in their career, who might be a little entrepreneurial, who wants to get into a high ticket commission space. And they can get a bigger piece of that pie by kind of doing all of the work on their own. We just, again, want to build them up to that. So it'll kind of be that sliding scale. Like at first, maybe you start getting applications, you send them over to us, we'll close them up for you. You're going to get a piece of that full commission. But as you start learning how to close, building out the infrastructure within your own back office, you can choose to license out our back office. If not, no worries. You can just do it all on your own. We're going to help you every step of the way. And then lastly, once you start to become proficient at getting those deals across the finish line, we're going to give you investment opportunities as well. So we really want to take you from like A to Z.
So if I'm somebody who has a lot of contacts, who are business owners looking for funding, I should basically be doing this right now.
Oh, you're just sacrificing a ton of money or opportunity costs of obtaining high ticket commissions. Your clients are probably reaching out to you asking about money all the time. all you have to do is make a warm handoff. You make a warm handoff, you get them to fill out an application. We literally will take care of the rest of the process, and you're going to get paid along the way, and you're going to get paid higher than if you would just give them to a Chase Bank or to a typical SBA outfit. So there's going to be higher margins on these types of things. But if your client is looking for that traditional financing, we will also facilitate that as well. So we want to put the client's needs first, but you get paid out on the lifetime of the relationship with the client as well, and we'll start nurturing that relationship for you.
Yeah, and as someone who, like I said, I'm not in the lending space. I have people who are my clients who are in the lending space, like mortgage brokers who do great deals. And there's different products in the lending space. So you guys can handle all the products. By products, I mean SBA loans, high interest, quick turnarounds. Like you could do all the products.
Right. I think the biggest thing that clients who apply with us have to understand is you get what you qualify for. So just because you want a certain product, you might not qualify for it. But what we do so well is that we teach you how to get qualified for that product. So if you only qualify for something that's a little higher interest, well, you don't have to take it, right? We'll give you the step-by-step guide of how to get to that SBA loan or that term loan product. However, some of the products that we facilitate is going to be SBA loan, term loan, line of credit, the alternative financing or the merchant cash advance space. And then we have other ancillary products like bookkeeping services, credit repair services, credit card processing services. We're starting to get more involved with the marketing component so we can help clients actually generate revenue. And then once your business scales up to where it needs to be, we also have private equity partners that we work with. So we can not only service your business from the debt side of financing all the way to the point where you feel like you've built up something that's sellable, and we can help you sell it as well.
Mm-hmm. And this program or platform, this is just targeting people wanting to basically launch their own business, become their own, become accountable for their life and take ownership and then make money. Now, with that being said, how long do you think it'll take someone to get to, let's say, $100,000 a month and then $100,000 a year? Those options.
I think it depends on the work ethic. There is talent that comes behind this. Like if you want to make $100,000 a month, you have to work like a millionaire. Let's be very clear there. Millionaires don't work 40-hour weeks. It's just that simple, right? So let me put that disclaimer out there. I think that there's a lot of people that will be able to make $1 million in terms of gross revenue at least. Can't speak to the expenses within just 1 year, but you're going to have to kind of be at the top of your class. The $10,000 a month or the $100,000 a year is obviously much more attainable. If you are following the guidelines of the amount of prospecting that you should be doing every single day, if you're being active within the community, if you're being active in terms of asking questions and getting in and taking our feedback to heart, I think making $100,000 a year is attainable for basically anyone that has sales capability. I don't think that talent is the most important thing. I think discipline is. So if you're making 350 cold calls a day, if you're submitting 1 to 2 applications a day through the portal, and you're whether you're closing them yourself, you're working with us, $100,000 a year is very attainable, and you can do this from your house. You just have to be self-motivated and ensure that you're staying on top of the numbers, because sales is all statistics. It's that simple.
Now, something you mentioned earlier that I kind of sparked my interest. So when you have a lending structure, let's say you have the bank. The bank's like, I will give you this contract for 20%, and then you just resell it for 30%. Is that part of the model or no?
No, the banks build in rates for us. And so there are different rates with the banks. A lot of things are negotiable. That's also the cool thing. So clients, obviously in some instances, they could be shopping around. We can manipulate the numbers to make sure that the client gets the best deal. There's also tiers of lending within the cash advance space. So, the first tier is going to be like 1 to 2 year deals. There's going to be biweekly or monthly payment options. But again, the client has to qualify for it. And then they're going to continue to go down that tier list based off the risk score of the client. Because again, this is unsecured money. So there's little recourse that we can take in the case of default. There's definitely recourse, don't get me wrong. But it's not as much as like you have a piece of property up as collateral. We can just go take that piece of property, right? That's very black and white.
Yep.
You don't make your mortgage payment, we take the property. It's a little bit more speculative. But the client is going to be approved based off of risk, and each risk bucket is going to have different allowances for commissions. And so that's like a little bit of an area that requires education to understand. It's not like, hey, here's just this menu, like you go to a restaurant and everything costs this amount. there's a lot of negotiation back and forth, not only with the client, but also with the lender themselves. And then the more volume you do with the lender, the better commission rates you get. So utilizing our platform, you're going to get higher commission rates than maybe if you were to go do it on your own. But we'll give you the secret sauce as to how you can get those commission rates to be built up to be even greater on your own as well.
Mm-hmm. So basically, it's that you guys have a platform that will give me this layout. And I'll make this a really simple layout so people can understand. You have that. You ever seen that like toy on Instagram that says, good, fast, and cheap, and you can only pick two? Have you seen that toy? What that thing is?
I don't.
Basically,
think so.
you put down a lever and two come up. You put down another lever, two come down. Like you can only have two levers up at one time.
Okay.
So when you guys are teaching people to make these deals, there's 100 different levers probably.
Right.
And you have to know which two levers to pull that will give you the highest payout or the best benefit for the customer. And you have to be smart enough to know which is better in that situation.
Right.
So you guys are giving all those levers.
We're giving all those levers, absolutely. And it does come down to just a couple simple levers that you're pulling. Like there are clients on many occasions that can qualify for traditional financing and bank financing, but they don't have the time. So all of a sudden that time lever is going to go up and it's like, I'm willing to take a more expensive rate because I need this by end of week or I need this by end of day. And we can facilitate those loans literally by end of day. They can apply by 9 a.m. in the morning. We can have them financing by 6 p.m. at night. Like it's that quick. But again, that's going to be some of the higher interest rate stuff. But that just depends on the need for the client. Mm-hmm. You do as a sales rep, and I've said this in the majority of my content, the most valuable client is the one that comes back to you, and the most expensive client is the first time you fund them, right? So you want to make sure that the client's needs are put first, because inherently, if you put the client's needs first, you guys are aligned, and they're going to continue to come back to you. That's going to be the key difference between making $100,000 a year and $100,000 a month is how big can you build up that book of business and how can you continue to facilitate those clients, additional debt financing or products down the line.
How much of a guarantee do you think it is, joining this platform that someone could make $100,000 a year if they do the things you say?
It is guaranteed that you are going to be able to submit applications. It is guaranteed that we're going to help you qualify those applications so you can get high dollar amounts in the approvals. How you handle the approvals is up to you. If you want to send them to us, I don't think there's going to be a problem with $100,000 a year as long as your volume's there. You doing it on your own, we cannot. I don't know what you're selling and how you're selling it and what relationships you have. We're going to get you set up with lenders that you can submit directly to, but we're going to get you set up with just a couple key lenders that we have good relationships with. You might get 10, 15, and we'll help you out with more, but like that's going to be the warm handoff. We have over 140. Mm-hmm. Now, having more lenders is not always better, but it just shows you that there's a lot more depth to this space. But anyways, $100,000 a year, if you're doing everything that we ask you to do, is very achievable.
Very achievable. And that within the first year.
Within the first year. Now, getting up to speed, how long do you think it really would take? If I wanted to launch my own, lending business like this, how long would it take for me to really grasp the full idea of this? Like, is it like you think of college, is it, 300 hours? Is it 200 hours? How many hours before you're like, oh, I got this? Well, I think there's to grasp the industry itself. I think you'll start to really understand it within a month's time frame. To grasp the understanding of how to cold call, I think you'll understand within a month's time frame, as long as you're putting in the units, right? You're putting in the dials, the effort. But I still learn more depth to the industry every single day. The weird thing about this industry is because it's so new and so fresh, there's different products that are coming out at a regular basis. There's different regulations that are coming out on a regular basis. There's different ways that you have to handle different states. That's where things become more convoluted. And so I'm always learning more about the industry. And that's why it's so fun, because it's like a big puzzle to build out. But as someone that's like a viewer or a listener from their home that's trying to just get involved with the industry, you don't need to know all of those things, right? We're trying to attract people that are really good at selling. And if you're not good at selling, we'll try and teach you how to be good at selling. But the discipline component, it's the most important thing. Let us handle all the rest of it for you. If you get to the point after a year's time frame where you say, hey, I don't need this platform as much as I used to, I want to kind of branch off, do my own thing, really start to scale out my own brokerage shop, hire reps, hire people to work as processors, whatever it is, you have that free reign and we're going to teach you how to do it, right? The benefit for us, once we get to that point, is just send us your files for the in-house side, and then we'll run your portfolio from an investment standpoint. So you can go broker your own deals, bring them back to us, and you can invest with us. That way you compound those riches that you've created from commissions and from brokering, into making true wealth from the investment in the syndication piece.
How many hours a day do you think it takes to, think for me, like startup, you're doing 10 hours a day every day, 12 hours a day every day. At what point are you like, okay, I can do 4 or 5 hours, it's running itself? Like, what do I need to do to build something that runs itself that then can scale past everything else?
Well, that's going to be more of like you're an actual brokerage shop owner with employees, with people working underneath you. That's going to take some time because you have to make the right hires. You have to qualify them correctly. You have to then educate them on how, to do those things. But with the, let's go back to the $100,000 a year. We feel like with 8 hours a day, you can get to that $100,000 a year, 5 days a week, but you need to be very intentional with those 8 hours, right? And during that 8 hour period, you're typically going to be prospecting the majority of the day. However, your clients are business owners and they're very busy during the day. They're busy running their business. But when they get home and after they've had their dinner and maybe a drink or something like that, they're like thinking about the next day and all the problems that their business is having. They might text you at 9 p.m. You're kind of on call, right?
Yep.
So you need at least 8 hours of like prolific prospecting with a lot of intention and discipline behind it. But you're going to have to be able to facilitate text messages, emails, just making sure that you're being available for your client, sometimes later at night or over the weekend, but it shouldn't be that demanding. It's really just the clients that are about to apply or the clients where you can, you're about to make a paycheck, right? Those clients you don't want to just let die or let that conversation fizzle out.
Yeah. Now walk us through a typical cold call. Like let's say, because really getting leads is like the thing. Like that's probably, I imagine, the hardest thing. If everyone had an endless amount of people who wanted to buy from you all the time, it wouldn't be as hard. But
right.
Getting the leads is where it can be difficult. Walk through the process of what a sales call even sounds like and what that's going to look, kind of walking us through the pipeline of that sale.
So 2 things I want to start with here. We will provide you with opportunities to buy leads at a discount. So we are giving you lead sheets, opportunities to buy lead sheets on your own at a discount. We are already setting, those relationships have already been set up. So you're not going to have to search far and wide and, purchase lead sheets that we obviously know are, they don't have much value behind it. Number 2, every cold call is different. So there's an art to selling. And what I'm telling you right now is a classroom kind of situation. So I'm going to tell you like more of the framework from a classroom, but you have to be able to jump from step to step, in a creative fashion in order to get the sale done. But the first thing that you're going to do when you're making a cold call is you want to provide a value add right away. You don't know what's going on with the business. So I would pitch like a really solid product that we have, whether it's an SBA loan, a tier 1 alternative financing type of position, a line of credit. And you're going to say, hey, this is the best thing that we can get for you. We think that this is something that's going to work for your business, but we have to kind of see what's going on before we can give you that firm approval. But based off of what I've seen, I think I can get you 100,000 over blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. So you're going to provide a value proposition right away, right out of the gate. I tell my reps, they don't care about what your name is or the company name is unless you're a household name, which none of us are, right? So just get right into the value prop within the first 5 to 10 seconds of the call, get them that hook. As soon as they start telling you a little bit more about their business, now once you get that hook, you're then going to tell them about the products that we have. They're going to start telling you about their business naturally. So you kind of peel back that first layer of the onion. You provided some layer of trust within that value prop. Then you're going to come back and you're going to start qualifying the client. Once you qualify the client, you identify that this makes sense, not only for yourself because there's a commission check behind it, but also for the client because you think that they can benefit from our services. Then there's the application logistics component. So you're doing hook, value prop, educating. You're going to tell them about the product. Then you're going to come down to the qualification process within the lead. And then you're going to shift over to the application logistics. There's a lot of tips and tricks that we can kind of teach you on how to get that application on that first phone call, because the more phone calls it takes following up with the client, the more time elapses before you can make a paycheck. Mm-hmm. So we want to do a 1-call close for the app. Mm-hmm. And as often as possible, typically it's not going to be a 1-call close, but that's kind of the framework. How can I give you a value proposition within the first 10 seconds of the call, get you to start listening? Merchants might hear what you're saying, but they need to internalize it and actually listen to what you're saying, right? You get that value prop, you tell them about the products that we have, they continue to express interest, you qualify them, then you try to get the logistics done to get that application within 1 call.
Now these leads, are they, when I hear cold call is someone who has no idea who I am, why I'm calling, or anything. Now are these leads who've like showed interest in funding before or zero interest at all?
Every single lead that you'll be buying from the vendors that we give you, these individuals will have applied for something in the past. Now, sometimes they don't remember, or sometimes they play like they didn't apply. You know how leads can be because you're soliciting. However, every single lead that you talk to has applied for something. That's why they ended up on a lead sheet. More importantly, the leads that we provide for the affiliates, again, that we give to you as a referral to provide, they are typically verified cell phone numbers. They're typically verified business owners, not gatekeepers. The bigger businesses typically have gatekeepers, so you have to keep that in mind, and that's where the bigger commission checks lie. But we try to make it as easy as possible. Just keep in mind that because these leads are qualified, a lot of other people are also calling them. So you have to be more professional and stand out more so than the other broker that might be calling them on the same day even, right? Multiple brokers can call these clients every single day.
Okay, so think of it like a watering hole. You got a lot of animals at the watering hole for this lead sheet. So you either got to be first, you got to be really good.
Right.
That's what it sounds like.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, for me, if I was like, okay, I'm going to do something like this, leads are the hardest part.
Absolutely.
But if it was a lead sheet where it's like, okay, these are just prospects that like fit the demographic, I'd be like, okay, that's be like, hey, why do you need funding? They're like, I don't need funding. You're like, okay, boom. But if they've done it before, that's that's easy. What's the pricing on these lead sheets typically?
Lead sheets can vary. Back to the watering hole situation. I mean, you can buy lead sheets or a watering hole that no one's ever touched before, but then you're going to have to do a lot more nurturing on the data, right? So there might be more incorrect phone numbers. There might be people that actually have never applied. So now you're doing more education on that lead. And we have no problem with you buying those types of leads, and we can give you access to those types of leads as well. It's just how much time, energy, and effort you want to put in the lead. We feel like going after the leads that we know have a little bit more meat on the bone, although you're competing with other people, we feel like our educational material will make you compete to a degree that's going to beat the majority of these other individuals anyways, because a lot of sales reps just don't have the discipline, and they don't have the know-how, and they don't have the tools necessary. But lead sheets can cost anywhere from fractions of a penny per record. Record is a lead.
Yeah, per person.
Right? Per person. They can be fractions of a penny. They can go all the way up to like $3 a lead. It just depends on how qualified you want that lead to be. Like if you want a lead that's applied within the last 24 to 48 hours, it might be like $3, but it's going to be a really qualified lead. And that's the decision that you can make as you're starting to experiment with the different lead sheets with our vendors.
So if someone's really getting into this business, they should have, my brain's going about 20 grand ready to pour in to get it kind of up and running to a good extent. Or what's like the capital investment to be like, because in my head, if you're gonna do something, do it right. If I'm gonna do a lead sheet, get a good lead sheet. Don't get a bunch of trash leads. Get a good watering hole. What's kind of like an initial capital investment looks like to get something going in a great way?
I started the business with $200 and made $100,000 in the first month. So you do not need 20 grand. The more educate. I already had experience in the industry, though. I will say that was the difference. So. Purchasing educational material might be an upfront expense, but like you can just go buy a lead sheet with like 500 names on it. Just get started, right? And that lead sheet with 500 names on it could be super cheap. I mean, hundreds of bucks, maybe. And with that lead sheet, just let's see if this is something that you can really sink your teeth into. And it only takes one client. And I think that's kind of like the fun part about this industry is like every time you get on the phone, you're like, there could be 10 grand behind this phone call. Right? It's like a lottery is what you're playing. And that's what keeps people coming back for more and more. But it's very difficult. You got to be resilient, to say the least. But you really don't need that much money to start up as long as you can get the education and the know-how. If you're going to go through something like our course and you're going to go through our educational material and you're like really starting from scratch, you might need a few $1,000 just so you can pay us to help you out. But like the actual true costs to operate this business from your house, assuming you already have the know-how, less than $1,000, I'd say. Hopefully you make a commission check. We'll roll that commission check in and you'll keep going.
Yeah, no, for sure. Are you guys providing a CRM to keep track of the leads, or is that something on the consumer to utilize?
If you become an affiliate, we can track your leads once they've become a submission and your commissions. But if you're doing your own thing, no, we won't be. If you're building your own ISO shop, we're not going to track all that stuff for you. You won't have access to our platform. But within the material that we're providing, we show you how to do it on Google Sheets is is a magical place for a startup, right? It's a magical place, and it's very easy to keep track of these things. So we kind of give you the tools and the framework, which is going to, at the end of the day, cost you the least. If you're going to use our platform, we're going to charge you for it, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you can do this on your own, just with a domain and some Google Sheets.
Yeah.
No worries. And we'll show you within the educational material how we kept track of things when we were in our early days. And then you can, I mean, it's free. So you can take that and you can run with it.
Yeah. And I would say for people in that situation, if they're wanting to start, the biggest thing I've ever done for my business, and literally, going from 10 to like 70 grand a month, was getting a damn CRM.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm very big on investing back into it. So, investing in knowledge is huge. Like that's one of the biggest things. Like
right.
You got to know what to do it and you got to do it well.
Right.
And then make sure your data doesn't slip through. Because I had Google Sheets for data tracking and it was rough. And guys, by the way, CRM can be as cheaper, as expensive as you want it to be. Mine's like $250 a month. You can go high level for like $100 a month.
Yeah.
It's pretty cheap.
149, I believe. Yeah. It's nothing.
Super cheap. But I love seeing a pipeline. I've always really enjoyed being like, all right, I can see my entire pipeline. Who's showed a little bit of interest, who told me to go suck a dick. Like, where am I kind of floating with all these people right now?
But you can build that on Sheets. And like, so our CRM that we're actually, when you start with the CRM, you're always gonna be building on it. So it's gonna be a continuous cost. And that's where we're like really investing into the CRM components because we want to put a lot of automations in there.
Yep.
But we're managing a lot more people, right? You can create a spreadsheet and have every lead sheet you ever bought as a tab. And then you just make another tab that says your hot pipeline. And then you make another tab that says applications. You make another pipeline that says what's funded. You can do all this on Sheets.
Yep.
Not saying that, we want to steer away from the CRM. I'm just saying, as you're getting started, let's not overcomplicate things. I think a lot of people are sitting, waiting for the right opportunity to strike, and they want to prepare for weeks, for months. They want to dump money into it. You don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Spend $500 on a lead sheet. Pick up the phone, start dialing. You can do it on day one. There's no licensing required. We can try to make you a paycheck within the first month. Then you can decide if you want to go spend your money on those other types of things, right? The point is like, get out of the stands, get on the court. Just go try it.
Yeah. And you can go to as much levels as you want because we have people like me and Jason who've run businesses. We get the demographics and we're like, okay, I'm sure Jason expressed some interest in you with some stuff that you guys do. I know I'm interested in stuff. And you got people who, even like clients who want to work with me who are like just starting like, I don't really want to put that much money into it. There is that client. And also there's another client out there who's like, let's just do it the right way. We'll throw whatever they need to get going.
Right.
I think both can have a lot of benefit there.
Yeah. So what was your question? Like which way to go? Or like,
it's almost like
you're just,
I want people to know too, that there's two ways to go about it. Cause I always thought, because there's two different mindsets too. You got someone who's like you said, they don't want to put a lot of capital into it. They kind of want to get the waters going and be like, oh, okay. But there's other people who almost get excited by the capital investment. They're like, I want to fucking do this right. That's where I get excited. I want to do this right.
Right. Well, I mean, if you're going to want to put in extra capital, just like contact us and we'll show you how to do it. Right. And we can, schedule one-on-one sessions with me personally, and I'll tell you exactly where to spend the money if you're really trying to do it that big right out of the gate. If you want to make $100,000 a month, it will require more capital than someone that's just trying to make $100,000 a year. So you're right there. I guess it depends on the vision of the person. But we can get a lot of people that have business backgrounds to get to $100,000 a month in gross revenue at least. It's not that hard. I mean, it's really just, it's $1 million in closed deals with an average spread of 10%. You can do that. And on some of these deals, if they're not a alternative financing product or a merchant cash advance product, you can just charge some fees on them. It's a very common and standard that you charge fees for your services. We can kind of teach you that process as well, which will also give you a more broad array of services for your client, which is going to keep them more sticky. It's going to keep them around longer because you're providing them better services. But yeah, if you're an individual that is just like, hey, I want to do this the right way, I want to come out of the gate strong, $100,000 a year doesn't really motivate me, contact us directly. We can do one-on-ones and we can get to the point where we can actually get you to $100,000 a month or hopefully much more, right? I'm going to teach you all the things that I struggled with at the very beginning, and let's just learn from me, and maybe you can get to $10 million a month faster than even I could, right?
Yeah, that's one thing that with my personal brand and things that I like to convey to people is I'm not really interested in people who have smaller dreams. Like if $100,000 a year is like your end goal and you're like, I'm happy, it's like, okay, cool, do the thing. I want people who listen to my content. I'm telling you, if your goal's only $100,000 a year, not that cool. Have a bigger dream. You're going to die one day. What the hell?
Yeah.
So
you have nothing to lose.
You got nothing to lose.
Right.
What's the worst? Why not say, it's almost funny when people are like, oh, it's like a lot of money. It's why? Why does that be a lot of money? Why can't it be 10 million?
Right.
And so you guys are giving someone an opportunity. And here's the thing with your model is that my model is a lot of hard cost. I got editing, I got labor. I got to be somewhere physically. You guys just making phone calls.
Yeah.
And then you got like the mental labor and like the tracking, but it's not that like, oh, I have to pay $20 per video per edit. You guys are like, all right, just get a.
Well, I think, you know, there's a culture that I've seen around on like social media and stuff, and it's like says that the cold calling culture is dead. It's like, no, it's not. It's like never been more alive. I think it's more alive now than ever because people are saying that it's dead. Because I think what people want is the easy way out, and you want the inbound leads, and you want people that are coming to you, and you want to spend all this gobs of money on Meta and Google and TikTok and whatever it is. It's like, dude, pick up the phone, start dialing. It's free. You're just going to spend your time on it, right? But we generate between 1,000 and 2,000 inbound leads a week. Then we have to qualify them. The qualification process takes time. It's a whole business within itself. Like, it's an entire division, and it's taking a long time for us to perfect that. And we're continuously dumping money into it every single day. And that's great, but we have the capital to do it, right? However, even the best leads that we have coming inbound, we're not giving them to sales reps that don't know how to cold call, because we believe that you inherently become great at sales if you can get a cold prospect that you've never spoken to before, to provide a value prop to them and to get them to believe in your value prop and apply with us. That's going to dictate whether you can be a good closer. We need you to get the applications before we can give you the easy way out. And so only our best closers are the ones that get inbound leads. It's not the other way around where you're brand new and you're getting inbound leads. So to spend all this time, energy, and effort, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months to get the marketing component up and running, you could have made $1 million potentially on that year in terms of gross revenue by not avoiding the work that everyone else doesn't want to do and just pick up the phone and start dialing, right?
Yeah.
So, you know what? I just had an idea. We should do like video sessions within the community so that people can like dial together. So, no, we got to take notes on that. But yeah, we can just do like standing Zoom calls where people can like literally start dialing together. I think that's a huge aspect to the community component, because it's like, how do you get that energy when you wake up at 8 a.m., 9 a.m., you just wipe the sleepies out of your eyes, you got your coffee, but you're like, damn, I got to dial, right? Because we get it. Like, cold calling is tough. No one's saying that it's easy. But if you can learn that skill and you can have energy and bring the repetitions every single day, I just think that's the highest ROI. I've spent millions of dollars in research and development on lead gen, and the highest vertical of or marketing channel is cold calling. We make the most money from cold calling. It's just that simple. And we're going to do all these other things because we want to improve the work-life balance of the people that work directly with us in-house. But the cold calling is never going to go away. We don't want the cold calling to go away. We believe it makes a wonderful culture. Especially you walk into a sales floor and you hear the roar of the sales floor. Everyone's on the phone, everyone's hustling, everyone's bustling. It provides that same energy that's going to carry over while you're closing the deals as well.
And cold calling is not as hard as people want to make it out to be. Like, I cold call literally all the time myself. I'm trying to actually teach other people how to do it for me. And my businesses, it is hard to teach. It's one of those things where you're good at it if you're good at it. And if you're really not good at it, it's a pain in the butt to teach you. So it's almost that skill. But you can follow a script and it works. And I'll make scripts for people. And I always open all my calls with, hey, Jim, how's your day going? And they're like, oh, hey, how you doing? It's like, what's your name? And I'm like, oh, it's Cameron. Do you not remember me? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, that's good. Well, I actually see right here, have you ever been interested in this thing? And they're like, actually, yeah. Or they'll say, no, I never did that. And I'm like, you lied. How's your name on the sheet?
Yeah.
It's always, I get a lot of those, no, I never did that. And I'm like, well, I don't know how I got your contact info.
Well, let's talk about the psychology of the cold call, right? If you are walking down the aisle at a Walmart and someone is selling, I don't know, some type of new DVR or some television set, some switch you from AT&T to Verizon, you've seen those people at Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
You as a person are naturally like, either go down a different aisle or you're you're like going over in your head, how am I going to decline these people before they even start speaking, right? And so when you go and you cold call someone, they have that same defense mechanism. But what sales reps do is they take it personally. Now, here's the difference with a lot of people that talk about sales and cold calling. They say, hey, ignore those feelings, right? Build up calluses, be resilient. I'm not saying don't build up calluses and be resilient, but like the fact that you feel a little uncomfortable for rejection is normal. It's a normal physiological response, emotional response from a human being to feel a little odd that they're getting rejected, right? We just have to understand and go into the cold call understanding that we're going to get rejected, and it's not personal to us. It's not personal whatsoever. It's just a common defense mechanism that we have embedded in our brain through living our lives, and you do the same thing when you're walking down that aisle at Walmart. But here's the key distinctive difference. You probably don't need to switch your cable provider or your phone provider from Verizon to AT&T, or your cable provider from Spectrum to whatever. But these business owners every single day are going to sleep and waking up in the morning thinking about money, how they need more of it to grow their business, how they need more of it to save their business, how they need to reallocate it, how their cash flow isn't working. You and I are both business owners. How often do you think about money?
Every day.
Every fucking day.
All day.
It's all day, every day. So you're not calling them with something that they don't need. You're calling them about something that they need, that they think about so absolutely frequently. You just have to give them that value prop right at the beginning of the call so they can start chatting with you. Mm-hmm. You have to get over that initial objection that's been scripted in their brain that they're going to say to you before you even start talking. And if you can just get past that first initial objection or rejection, then the conversation opens up and it becomes a very fun conversation. You're just getting to know the person, right? So,
yeah, it's always my life got a lot better when I had the death of expectations.
Yeah.
When I literally stopped caring what anyone did. Honestly, if someone ever did anything nice or said yes, I'm like, this is so great. It's such a good day. If they did it, I'm like, it's great. It's still a good day. So life's going to keep going on. And it's something I've had to communicate with people is that you're helping them out by calling them. Like the point you said, they showed interest in wanting these funds for their business.
Right.
Like you wouldn't be calling if they didn't want it.
Right.
So, and I tell people if I'm ever doing cold calls, I'm like, don't stop calling somebody until they explicitly say, don't contact me again. I hate you.
Well, so what people do, like they come in and they're a novice at something. And so in their head, they're like, I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm a novice. And so they start to say that to themselves, and that self-talk projects onto the phone call. And so I sit down people, I'm like, hey, you have millions of dollars at your fingertips. You are powerful. These businesses need to grow, and the only way they're going to grow is by talking to someone like you, right? So stop feeling like you're a nuisance and start saying like, Mr. Business Owner, you're losing money by not speaking to me right now. I am your ticket to millions upon millions upon millions of dollars and scaling your business, which is exactly what you want. You want to scale your business. You want to make more money. You want to provide for your family. You are the boss of your own life. You don't want to answer at anyone. However, you need help getting that financial piece covered. And you might be the best plumber of all time. You might be the best contractor. You might be the best restaurant owner. Let me be the best finance guy for you. When you go into it with that much confidence, it's going to change the way that you approach these business owners because you know that you're inherently needed. But more importantly, if you still have that lack of confidence because you don't know what to do when the lead comes in, that's why you work with our team, so we can give you that, right? You just need that blind confidence of saying, I have millions of dollars at my fingertips. This is Wi-Fi money. I'm sending money from New York to California, from California to Florida, from Florida to Chicago, wherever it is. Some small town in Kentucky, doesn't matter, right? I have this power. I need to project that power into the phone call and allow the business owner to know that I'm a resource to them. Once that file comes in, if you don't know what to do next, that's why you have our team to lean back on, right? Mm-hmm. So we can educate you down that process.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge part of it. So it's it's almost like this course, or not course, this platform is going to need a mindset coaching a part of this. Like there's a lot of for men, women, whoever ends up signing up for this, like you need to have good self-talk. You need to have good confidence because you almost can't be successful if you lack those abilities. It's like build the fundamentals of a human being, and then those fundamentals will make a good business owner, a good sales rep, a good everything else.
I think it's the abundant mentality. There is so much money and so much opportunity that's out there. And for you to be stuck with a glass is half empty mentality is not going to get you very far in life in any regard. Whether you're trying to impress your girlfriend's parents, whether you're trying to impress, whatever it is, I'm saying like you need to have that glass is half full mentality, and you need to be overwhelmingly abundant and positive about the opportunity. And what the cool thing is about this industry is we were talking about it before we started, I guess, going live. Most people don't even know what it is. So I have people that come up to me and say like, oh, this industry is saturated. There's so many brokers. I'm like, go ask your parents what this industry is. Tell me if they know. Go ask your spouse if they know what this industry is. Everyone knows that there's car loans out there. Everyone knows that there's mortgage loans out there. People don't know what this is. So how in the world is it saturated, right? We got to get the name out there. We got to get the word out there. And this type of product is going to be such a household product because banks just aren't doing their jobs at being able to get out money. And it's not that they're not doing their jobs. They're just so risk adverse that they want to tie up everything, including an arm, a leg,
Yep.
your firstborn child, and they need your 4th grade report card in order to get it done.
Yeah.
We can get you money in 24 hours with minimal steps, right? But there's just an inherent value add. Like these business owners are taking it because they need to, right? But yeah, we just have to reinvent our mentality. It's like, this is the most abundant thing possible right now. It's pre-regulation. That means that the state and federal government don't even know enough about it. You're telling me that it's saturated? You're crazy. It is so unsaturated. We need to strike while the iron is hot, while we can. So
Yeah. Well, so how close is this to being fully fleshed out? Like when can people be like, all right, listen to this podcast. Like I'm bought in. I want to start a business like this. I'm not against picking up the phone. I think I can do a pretty good job. Like what's the next steps for them?
Yeah, so we actually haven't launched yet. We're like 3 or 4 weeks out from launching. So you can feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at Thaddius_Voss_, and we'll add you to the wait list. There's no bots. There's no like automatic AI responses. So if you don't see a response right away, it's because we actually hand respond to everything. As long as it's value add. There's a lot of people that are in my DMs trying to like sell me stuff or do business, and like, you better make it a very interesting DM or you won't get a response. But anyone that wants to respond or that wants access to the Funders Academy, put Funders as the DM, or you can just comment on one of the videos, whatever it is, we'll get to you. But it's at Thaddius, THADDEUS_Voss, V as in Victor, OSS_. And you can reach out that way. We'll put you on the wait list. We'll reach out to you as soon as this thing is launched, and we're excited for it. So
Sweet. Well, Thad, I'll have you on in, let's say about 3 months when it's live, people are in it and things are happening, and we'll talk about more of the success stories.
absolutely.
Great.
Let's do it.
Thanks for being on.
Appreciate it, Cam.